Hello, everybody. This is Jonesy from Veterans of Dareth. This is a quick little tutorial video on how to set up your Ironman character if you would like to participate. I know a lot of people, there's been a lot of really good feedback from everybody about what exactly this is, what it's not. It's supposed to be something fun and interesting and pretty challenging in my opinion. This is something that I kind of came up with, but had a lot of help from Spigot, one of our main admins, Wolfenstein, the monarch of our allegiance, and even Umber. He had a quick few tidbits to throw in there to kind of make everything work together pretty nicely. So I'm just going to go over the basic rules and how to start. And I'll actually show you how to make a character from scratch. And here we go. All right. So I guess before we actually make your character, these are the rules for people that have a lot of questions about what exactly this is. Basically, we want to use a random number generator. There's two different ways to do this to roll your character for you in Asheron's Call. Obviously, AC is a sandbox game, so it's not like you're playing World of Warcraft and you just pick a mage and you're a mage. It's like when you play AC, you can pretty much do anything. Yes, you can have missile weapons and cooking and tinking skills and totally be gimped, but that's kind of the whole point. Is it kind of forces you to play the game a completely different way. And for a lot of people that, like me, that I've played this game off and on for 20 years, it kind of changes it up and makes it almost feel nostalgia in a certain way, as in, like, you kind of don't know what you're doing, but you do know what you're doing. It's really weird, but it's super fun so far. So the basic rules are you cannot have any outside help from any of your other characters or from anyone that's not an Ironman participant. And how we've done that is when you make your character, you will have to put HC, short for hardcore, at the end of your name. So if you are totally allowed to fellowship, quest, do whatever you want with other HC people, you're not allowed to swear to them. Veritas has a character or several characters that you can swear into if you want to be part of a hardcore allegiance. So you can do that. There's no vassal pass up because that would kind of be busted. The other main thing, one of the biggest things that most people know on the server already, is that when you make a new character, you usually just go to Holtberg and you click on the cow 300 times and then you're instantly level 16, 17. So no doing that. The whole point of this is to make it pretty challenging. You can complete the hub quests. There's no restriction on which quests you can do, but you are not allowed to. You have to complete them on your own character, or with other Ironman participants. You're not allowed to bring your main in, give yourself a hub kit, and then instantly be level 40 because that's kind of defeats the entire purpose. Next thing, everyone will be player killer. And this is a two-sided, I guess, thing we decided to do towards the end. You really, let me think of how to say this. In my opinion, I'm not a big PvPer. It was more for the danger factor of actually grouping with other people because, I'm sure a lot of people are going to end up being two-handed. And if you're melee and they're two-handed, they can hit you at the same time. That's more of the feel for me, not to make this into like a whole dark tide thing where everyone's killing each other, because if we're all kind of in the same allegiance and this is such a small server, it's not really like we're going to have a big gank fest 24/7. We did have it set up where Spigot was teleporting people and having them click on the BZ statue, but I believe they added the BZ statue to Holtberg. So now after you get through your main, whatever your starting town is, you can go to Holtberg, click on the statue, become player killer, and you must permanently be player killer for this challenge. You are not allowed to buy any buffs from vendors. That's including the Illusion that has the life protection crystals. You're not allowed to buy the level 4 buffs from the hub. You're not allowed to buff yourself with another character. this server is it's pretty easy to find jewelry, even low level jewelry that has decent spells on it. You just kind of have to go look for it. And that's kind of the fun part of this, in my opinion, is that you can just go and find stuff, and you know what? You're actually trying to kill stuff and loot everybody because you're getting upgrades constantly. Uh, as far as the skills go, the only thing that is we decided to change is that if you get War Magic or Void Magic as your weapon type, um, you cannot specialize a primary skill like everyone else does. And you'll see when I go over the characters, but you are allowed to train Mana Conversion as your first skill, because we decided that even though this is supposed to be completely random, if you have War Magic or Void Magic and you don't get Mana Conversions, for instance, say you don't get Mana Conversion until your 25th skill, like the character is basically unplayable. Like you won't be able to play it at all. And that's not really fair when everyone else is, everyone else is melee, you know. But saying that, if you do get missile weapons and you don't have fletching, we decided that was okay because you can still buy arrows from a vendor, and a lot of other people will have fletching. I guess you have to work with other people and make make your character somehow work without it. Mana Conversion is pretty much mandatory. Fletching, we decided that there's a lot of loopholes to get around that. Not necessarily a fun way, but a more challenging way. As in, most characters in the game, if you're playing an archer, late game, you're pretty much dominating everything. But early game, unless you get really lucky and get fletching early, you're kind of going to be having a horrible time at it, which is kind of the whole purpose. The only other thing on here in the rules is that if you are Empyrean, which are the giant people that float around, you are allowed to transfer 1 MMD from a main character if you have it, just to take it to the barber and get rid of your floating whatever. I think it's called suppressed levitation. You are allowed to do that because I know me, I'm actually Empyrean, and I had to do that because floating around and how your character moves, it makes me nauseous. I know a lot of people can get motion sickness from it, just really weird, but you are allowed to do that. Please don't trade more money to your character. It's not really necessarily going to help you. I don't know why it would help you having money from vendors and stuff. You are allowed to run all quests in the game. You're allowed to run the skill credit quests to get skills earlier, but you're not allowed to untrain, train, or specialize any extra skills. Basically, whatever your skill order is that's all you're getting. That's it. So, with that being said, let me go to the test character, and I will show you guys how to do this. All right, and we are on the test character page. We have linked this in the Discord. It is where is it under? It's under the community events. Spigot shared a Google Doc where you can very easily read the rules, the same thing I just showed you, and you have a test character. And basically right now I'm just going to show you how to set that up. So the first thing you want to do, there's two ways to do this. There's a fast way technically, and there's I don't want to say slow way, but there's a, I guess, more RNG related way. And now that I've gotten a what is it called? A character sheet from Falston and Nathan, I'm not sure how you say his name. You'll see our characters in here. Basically, whatever's highlighted in green is what our picks were. I think Falston and Nathan actually did it better, so I'm gonna show it their way. I think they made it easier, honestly. So if you want to do this the fast way, I'll show you that because it will be super quick. So you'll see up here on the top, I have the random.org website. It's just random.org/lists. That's a really hard word to say for me for some reason. And basically how we did it originally is we used the roles over here. We used the roles.org. And for instance, okay, so we're going to pick our heritage, which is, Alluvian, Garundum, Show, etc. So, okay, I see there's 11 races. So I could do a 1d11 and click roll, and boom, I got 6. So I would be Penumbrian, and then I would highlight that, and that's my race or heritage I have to pick. Or if you don't want to do that, if you want to do this basically the same way, you could highlight all of these, copy it, paste it into the random.org list generator, and then click randomize. And whatever your first one on the list is undead, then you would be undead. So you could do it that way, either way. Whichever is easier for you, I suggest doing it that way. The only thing that's going to be really different is your primary skills, and we'll get to that in just a second. So let's just say we're Penumbrian, which is cool, Shadow. And then for our professions, we got 1 through 6. So let's do a 1d6 on this website. And we got 1. So strength is our primary stat. So how we have this set up is you roll 1 through 6. Obviously, whatever you get, that stat is going to be 100 base. So you can max it all the way up. All your characters that you're creating are going to be the custom character. They're not going to be like the Swashbuckler or Marauder or any of that, because we felt like that was just going to screw up the skill order. So all your characters are going to be custom. So for instance, your strength will be 100 on this, and every other stat will be 46. I know it's really weird. We don't know why it's like that, but that's just what it came up to. Everything will be 46, and strength will be 100. Now when you get to your weapon skill, I'm just going to use the rolls because that's what I did originally. You can do the 1d7 and roll, and I got a 6. So this character will be a Void Mage. And these numbers right here next to it are how many skill credits it costs to specialize the skill. Obviously, Void Magic and War Magic are the most expensive by far. They're the most expensive skills in the game by far. But with this, you'll come to notice that if you are a Void Mage, you kind of are at a pretty good advantage, at least early on, because you need like 1 wand and then you're good forever. You need a CS wand. You can slowly upgrade it, but you don't have, elemental weaknesses, fire, bludgeoning, all that. You just do nether damage. So it's kind of a good thing early on, and later on it can be not that good because, if you're fighting Ulthoi, you can use Bludge. If you're fighting Tuskers, you can use Fire, and et cetera, et cetera. So now for the tricky part. Since you got Void Magic, you are automatically going to train Mana Conversion. If you didn't get Void Magic, let's say, for instance, you got Finesse Weapons. You are going to roll a 1 through 25, or a 1d25, and that will be your specialized skill, which this guy got an 11, which is Shield. So you're automatically going to specialize Shield. And whatever your weapon skill is automatically specialized. So you start with 2 specialized skill, and everything else is trained. So how we did this originally is we took turns rolling dice. So say I got 11. Okay, this is your specialized skill, so you can put spec. Or what you could do, what some other people have done, is they just take the entire list, copy it, paste into random.org, and hit randomize, and there's your entire skill order, with your first skill being specialized for this. That would be armor tinkering. And I don't know if you can, you can copy this and paste it. And there you go. That is the extremely fast way of doing this, and it kind of works out. Basically, I would almost suggest doing this now because it's way faster, and the RNG is you're going to spend a lot of time just rolling back and forth. If you want to roll, go for it. I have no problem. Let's say, for instance, you roll 1d25. You're going to roll it. You're just going to keep rolling it until you fill out your skill list, right? So you roll it, you roll it, you roll it. If you hit the same number again, you just skip it and roll again. I kind of think this random.org, I think BlizzBunny in the Discord suggests this. I didn't even know this was a thing, so this is awesome. As you can see, this finesse character will have spec armor tinking, which he can't even spec because it's AUG. So he basically just will have to, I guess, have nothing spec'd until he can AUG armor tinkering. And, summoning alchemy, missile defense, mana conversion, etc., etc., etc. And usually most people, you can make it to your 16th to 18th skill depending on what your stats are, but that's also at level 275, so good luck with that. For the most part, you can get to, I don't know, like 6 or 7 skills trained in the beginning as at level 1. So let's get rid of some of this stuff. Let's go back a second and say this character is Void Mage, and let's put Mana Conversion at the top because that's going to be your first skill. You can copy everything in the list, put in your random.org, and I would just take out Mana Conversion. Just delete that off the list so you don't even have to worry about it. Hit Randomize and wait for it to load, hopefully. Maybe. There you go. And then this will be your list 1 through 24, technically 1 through 25. Come in here, copy it, paste it, boom, you're done. You can make all this in the middle. And that is your skill order, which is probably easier to do it this way just because you have the whole thing done in about a minute versus spending 20 minutes just rolling dice over and over and over again and having to make order. This random.org is way better. Next thing you're going to do, which I don't know if it was on here, you're just going to roll 1d2. I mean, or if you have a coin, flip a coin, whatever's easier for you, male or female. And the thing that you probably want to use the dice for instead of the random.org is, I have on here, I thought I had on here, that you want to roll 1d20. This character got a 4. And 4 is the amount of times you must click the random button on your character appearance creator. So you got to click it 4 times. And then that, whatever that is, that's what your character gets. Kind of make things interesting. I'll roll 1d2 just to see what it is. We're male. Click on random 4 times. And then we need to do a 1d4 for our starting town, or you can put those 4 starting towns in the random.org. Either way. 4, we're starting in Sushi. It's Shushi or something, but I always say Sushi. And that's pretty much it. The only other thing you can do, actually, I don't think that's pretty much it. Your starting town, I highly suggest getting your Path Warden armor. You're not, if you start in Sushi or Urak, Holtberg, you need to get the Path Warden armor from that town. Don't go to Urak because you want the Urak starting armor. Like wherever you start, that's what you should start with. If you don't want to use Path Warden armor, then that's fine. Now I am going to get this set up, and I'm going to create this character in the game, and I will show you guys what it's kind of going to look like as our last final step. All right, so we're back into the actual character creator. If you are using Thwargle launcher, there's, I guess it's sort of bug. I'm not really sure exactly why. Whenever you are creating your character, because you're probably going to spend a little bit more time than normal actually creating it, make sure once you click the character creator, you actually close out of Thwargle launcher, because it will, if you spend too long in the character creator, it will just turn off your game, which is going to be extremely frustrating if you're trying to do this. Okay, so we have our character list over here on the left side. So we're going to be a Penumbrian. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. And you're going to go to custom, and we're going to have 100 strength, and we're going to have 46 of each stat. That way our character can be a jack of all trades and master of none. It's really weird. All right. And then our weapon skill is going to be void magic, which we're going to specialize that, which if you're starting with any of the magics, you're kind of screwed a little bit, because you're not going to have a lot of stuff trained from the get-go, but it's kind of like if you play any mage, how it goes. All right, and train mana conversion straight off the bat. We only got 18 skill credits left. And this is the thing, if you are a mage, since we're basically giving you mana conversion for free instead of not having anything, you do not get to specialize a secondary skill. If you were to get finesse or missile or anything else, you do get to specialize your very first primary skill, just so everybody knows, it's clear with that. The next skill we are learning is missile defense, great for those Lugians. And then sneak attack, where's sneak attack? And then dirty fighting, where is that? Dirty fighting. And item enchantment. So item enchantment costs 8, and we only have 6 credits left. So basically, once you get 8 skill credits in the game, you'll learn item enchantment. And then after that, you learn weapon tinkering, wherever that is. Yeah, weapon tinkering. And then after that, you're going to learn melee defense, life magic, so on and so on. So actually, this character is not too bad because you get melee defense and life as your 8th skill. So you might not have creature, but you can do it without creature. Not having life magic kind of sucks as a mage because you need the stamina and mana, etc., etc. So this is our basic character. So you got dirty fighting and sneak attack, which is great on a void mage, and mana conversion. Our next thing we're doing is we got a male, and we're going to click the random button 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. This is probably what my character would actually look like if I was just making it normally. So this is what you're stuck with. As far as the clothes go, I mean, you can do this random too if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I think it just changes the clothes. Yeah, that doesn't. We didn't do anything with that because you're going to get rid of the clothes almost immediately, so it doesn't really matter. And then your starting town is Sushi. And hit next. And this is just going to be test character HC. The HC is just capitalized at the end, so everyone knows that you're playing an Ironman character. And that's it. Click finish, and then get in the game and go out and explore the world and try not to die because you're probably going to die a lot. And that's it. Have fun. Thanks for watching.